Welcome to the hunting ground, where business gets real. This is Into the Lion's Den, where we build smarter, lead harder, and protect what matters most. With your host, Christian Griffith. Let's get to work.
All right, folks, welcome back to another episode of Into the Lion's Den. We have a very special co-host today. This is my good friend, Chris Johnson. Mr. Chris Johnson, actually, I'll let him introduce himself, but one of the coolest things that I've found is, well, I mentioned in about 100 videos the range of ethics that there are, regardless of if it's contractors or adjusters or homeowners alike. Everybody sits somewhere in that range. One of the things that we loved about Chris when he was on the opposite side of the field as an adjuster was that he was always honest and always fair, always looking to make sure that the client was taken care of, and making sure that he was doing everything to a T with what his authorities were. There was never any BS with him. And so we tried our darndest for, almost a year. Dan kind of tripping in your ear like, hey, you ready to leave Allstate? Hey, you ready to leave Allstate? And now he works with us. He's our in-house estimating and supplementing specialist. He does all the back-end work to make sure that if you are a Pride Roofing and Construction client, that you get the most out of your policy, and making sure that the insurance companies are honest and fair with the assessment and all of the reconciliation of the claim. He makes sure that there's never a point where you're put in a bad position, and it's a pretty cool thing to do. So I'll turn it over to, or actually, let me finish the intro, and then we'll learn a little bit about you from your perspective. But and as always, Christian, Pride Roofing and Construction, or owner of Pride Roofing and Construction. This episode is brought to you proudly by LVL Creative Studios and Pride Roofing and Construction. Wow. Do a cat noise. Wow. That was a good one.
I'm clipping that. We're using that.
Yeah, we always throw like a noise in there right after that intro, and so he's going to put some sound bites in of the different cat noises that everybody's made, so we can pump those in during
I like that.
during different videos. But anyways, Chris, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you for the intro. That was very flattering. Yes, Dan Taylor, one of your guys' top tier individuals, I'd have to say. Worked with him handfuls of times. I had bought roofs, and I had not bought roofs with Dan. So the fact that you guys had asked me to come over was extremely flattering. Most people want a box as soon as they don't get their way, and I have always been able to have, from the other end on the insurance side, always was able to have a level-headed, reasonable conversation with any representative from Pride, whether it was Billy, Brendan, Dan, Matt out of Cheyenne. You had a second Matt, I believe, for a second.
We did, yeah.
Every single one of them, outstanding guys.
I think we've had a few Matts now.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm Mike.
No, you're good. I had
trying to put a
you.
face with the
it's
name.
been
I'm
a
like,
minute.
okay.
It was either a Matt or a Mike.
Yeah,
but
we've had we have 39 people now, so you've met quite a few of them.
Yeah, tip of the iceberg, just a few, but and that's what I would say. What really drew me to Pride was the moral ethics, the way they stand. They're unwavered in their decision to do right. It's not always about making a sale. Your roof is destroyed. You have to have a new one. It's about taking care of the customer, taking care of the people deep down. Well, if your roof isn't, Dan, what else are you looking into? Can we help out here? Can we do this? We are a roofing company, but we take on the entire exterior of a home. You know, there is, I think that's a really good thing. I've, coming from the insurance side, I would get out to do inspections, and most roofers only cared about the roof. They don't care about personal belongings, other elevation collateral, things like that to help tell the story, as well as to help other companies. Pride, I've seen, works very well with multiple companies within the community.
You hear that? We play well in the sandbox.
They really do. I wouldn't be here if the guys didn't play fair.
Yeah, that's awesome.
As you get older, you realize what you'll stand for and what you won't tolerate. And I won't tolerate dishonesty. I won't tolerate manipulation. And if I feel that I've made the right call, I'm going to stand by that until proven differently. And that's kind of where insurance not to say anything terrible about it, but hearsay, finger pointing, he said, she said. You have a lot of power in the upfront. There are just as many levels of people monitoring you, controlling your decision, whether they're actually there or not. And that typically was something that really frustrated me, I'd have to say. Is,
Sure.
When you're physically on site and somebody else 100 miles away is telling you something different, you respectfully butt heads.
Well, their title is more important than your title. That was
Yep.
completely facetious. It was so
Yep.
much sarcasm.
No, 100%. That is exactly how it is played out.
So much sarcasm. You ever watch The Incredibles?
Oh yeah.
Do you remember the part in the beginning of the first one where he shoves the I don't know if he's a regional, but the boss for the insurance agency, he pushes them through like 15 walls. Yeah. It's like, I feel like I've had a lot of times where I know that the person delivering the information is not the person I want to push through walls, but I'm thinking about it the whole time.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you've been able to have those discussions with your on-site adjuster, and you're getting cryptic answers. Well, is this? Well, I don't know. These anomalies typically look like, and you're like, well, are we getting anything out of? You start to realize who has power, authority, who can make calls, who is just a pawn in the industry and going out and taking photos and reporting back to somebody.
Well, I got really lucky, I guess, with how I was introduced to the industry. Before she was my wife, she was my girlfriend, obviously. My mother-in-law, or, one of the people I wanted to impress, you know, I found out she was a very seasoned long-term adjuster. She's been in adjusting for 20-some plus years. It could be 30. I'm not really sure. No offense, Tammy. No offense, Tamster, if I aged you further than I should have, but she kind of just like is she knows everything about the entire industry from start to finish, based off the positions that she has sat in, whether that was on-site adjuster or managers in the background and stuff like that. But long story short, I asked her a whole lot of questions when I first started getting into the roofing industry and wanting to understand more about the insurance process. And she kind of gave me the nitty-gritty, and she said, there's certain things that you should and you shouldn't do, and here's how we can make your life harder, and here's ways that you can make your own life easier. And she kind of gave me a lot of guidance, and luckily that guidance was very kind of just instinctually the way that I would like to do things.
Good moral ethics really do prevail.
Turns out that, customers and insurance adjusters alike, they like genuine, authentic, and honest.
Shocker.
Shocker.
I know, right?
Weird how it goes that way. It's like, it's funny how you can boil down so much like motivational speakers and people who write all these intensive books into very small and very simple things, but they have to write so many words because I guess simple things are too simple for the average person. But anyways, it's very simple. Approach it with honesty. Approach it with care. Don't try to make an enemy at the beginning. Let's make a friendship at the beginning. After all, we have to work together for however long this takes. And also, we're probably going to see each other again. So let's make sure that this all works out, And so, well, I would like, I actually talked to Lachlan, or texted Lachlan this a while back, but I would like to actually have kind of a spotlight episode on a little bit of your experience in the adjusting world and experience with other contractors, not necessarily to put them down, but to kind of give a little bit of visibility from a different perspective for homeowners who are being bombarded by roofers, and why there are certain things they should look for, I guess, in roofing contractors. I think that would be pretty vital information for them to digest.
Love to.
Yeah. So
there's a reason you guys really stood out.
Thank you. Well, you guys, it's we us are. We.
There's a reason we stand out.
That you're part of the family, my friend. So, but anyway, so to kind of spin into the real topic, so I wanted to bait that a little bit. I would like to have that discussion in some pretty good detail. But for today's purposes, in the series that we're running, we're obviously working with this here book that I have encouraged everybody to read, reread over again every time we've had one of these episodes. It's a very useful book for any person who wants to become somebody worth their weight as a leader or an entrepreneur or just somebody that sits in a position of influence, that's a very valuable tool. And so we're going to base this whole conversation off of start with why. And I'd like to know, I'm going to interview you, and we're going to go through kind of a build-up. There's different segments. I don't know if you noticed from reading these questions beforehand, the different sections kind of lead up to what the overall impact is that you want to have.
The why.
What the actual why is.
It all clued in once I got
Right.
in.
And so, but anyways, I want to spin into that so we get to know you a little bit, introduce you to the Pride family. We do have some actual active watchers, people who get on and they always watch the videos. Some people catch them when they see them and so on and so forth. But I think that what we're doing is just giving some insight into the inside of the industry that a lot of people have really warped perspectives on because of poor choices made by a lot of people in the past. So I'm trying to break open, get past, I guess, that taboo nature of when you tell somebody I'm a roofer. And also let people know, we want to grow with you. I would never pretend that I know everything about everything, because if I stated that, not only am I full of shit, but I have just stopped my opportunity to grow to the best that I possibly can be. And so I guess another statement I've made probably 100 times on here, I don't pretend to know everything about everything, but I want to share what I've learned, and I'd love to hear what anybody else has learned. So let's hear today from Chris what he's learned, and if anybody would ever want to get onto one of these episodes, just DM us. We'll get you on. I'd love to hear from coaches, leaders, entrepreneurs, pastors, whatever. If you're in positions of influence, I'd love to have you on here. So let's get into the nitty-gritty, yeah? All right. So the first section is personal motivation and role. So I'm going to read all three of the questions to you in that section. Mm-hmm. You can answer them as a blended answer. You can answer just one of them that resonates the most with you, however you see fit. Okay. But I'll read those ones off. They all have a theme to them in each category. So we'll just see what makes the most amount of sense, and what you hear, just go with what your gut says to say. All right.
Beautiful.
So question number one. Chris, what first drew you to the world of estimating and insurance claims? What keeps you passionate about it? Question number two, how do you explain your role to homeowners or clients who might not fully understand the claims process? And number three, what part of your job do you find most rewarding, and why?
Okay, those are all really good. This will kind of be a little bit of a combined answer. They all kind of have some similarities in there. And what got me into estimating and into the insurance world was I have a background in construction. Did about 8 years of home renovations, remodels, had my own small company from that. And in truth, I got gray hairs. As I started hitting towards my 30s, I knew I couldn't swing a hammer the rest of my life. I wanted to take the skills, information, and procedures that I had learned and had gathered and be able to help others. I was raised by a single mother with a younger twin brother, was always watching out for him, so I've always been that overseer, that protector, and I can't get away from it now that I get older. I want to help. I want to see people do good. I want to see everybody succeed. There is no reason for somebody to be left behind. So my main reasons for really liking that are, with my construction background coming into estimating, I try to get everything that we can for our customers. I want proper indemnification. I don't want them to have to come out of pocket any more than their deductible. Unless they choose upgrades or anything like that. But that's what really keeps me passionate for it, is that want to help people, that want to make sure that they're getting the most out of this experience, as well as insurance is very confusing. There isn't ever anything taught or explained to most people. Most people, when they purchase a policy, don't even understand what their policy is.
Yeah, they read the declarations page, but not the 90 pages before it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So coming from insurance, I've read those 90 pages on the backside.
Yeah.
I can help walk through that. I'm kind of the liaison, your interpreter. You have questions. My job specifically at Pride, I would help to say, is to help make your day easier. I don't ever want to put legwork onto our customers. Why would you hire us if we're going to make you go through the runaround of all of that?
Shouldn't you get it done yourself then?
Yeah, so it truly boiled down is to help, to make sure that nothing is missed and nobody's taken advantage of.
I love it. Those are powerful character traits that you have that you're kind of articulating here. So I've caught a few things in this, so let's talk about it. It seems like you're kind of a protector by nature. Would you say that's pretty accurate?
Yeah, yeah.
The people you care about, if it's this new client, they become as if they're family adjacent.
Everybody I meet is friends and family.
Right.
How are you doing, my friend?
Right. And so, and what you want to do is guide them through a, murky process, something where they don't have any of the subject matter to even, I guess, study, let alone become an expert at, like you are. And so you're taking something that inside, outside, upside, top and bottom, whatever, and you're guiding people through a hard process and making sure to fight off all of the potential stresses that can come. So that's why when I say you're more of a protector. Do you think that's something that stems from your upbringing?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Do you have any potential things? You don't have to go super deep into all of this stuff. You can go as deep as you want to. Yeah. A few people have shed some tears on here, not everybody, mostly me. But anyways, is there something about you that wants you to just make sure that you're protecting your friends and family members?
Raised by a single mother. Came from an abusive relationship prior to that. Moved to Colorado when I was 11.
Mm-hmm.
So from then on, I just had to put on my big boy pants, and
Mm-hmm.
if something needed to be done, you step up. We don't scare away when things get tough.
Mm-hmm.
We don't shy away. We don't turn our back on uncomfortable situations. Coming from a little bit of a hostile upbringing, I will not tolerate violence in any way,
Mm-hmm.
especially towards an opposite sex. I will be the first person to stand up.
Mm-hmm.
And then coming from that, being the older of the siblings, it was always watching out for the younger.
Mm-hmm.
So between those kind of helping to shape have really opened my mind into the surroundings.
Yeah.
What is going on, who is taken care of, keywords to just know how people's day are going, their inflections really let you know where people's mind are at even.
Yeah. Well, we have some similarities, so to relate and connect here a little bit. I know it's written on the wall, and it's a foundational principle. It's written on
Pride
all of
before
our...
the lion.
Pride before the lion, but also there's one in there that's kind of a key one that I think I want to talk about a little bit. But, it's on the back of our presentation packets. It's in our emails we send out to people. All of our branding includes it, and it's build every project as though it's for your mother. So for me, the reason that that's there is because I look at my mother like she's a saint. She's just absolutely the epitome of everything that I needed when I was a kid, right? A rough upbringing. There was some domestic violence issues in the beginning. The parents divorced, certain things like that. Well, at one point, my mom, she had to take care of 4 children by herself, and before that point she was always assisting when it came to finances, but she had to take care of the kids, and my dad, no slight on him, I've mended relationships with him since then, but he was worked to the bone, right? He had 3 or 4 different jobs simultaneously to keep food on the table and stuff like that, and so there was a lot of chaos in my upbringing. But when I had this, basically from 8th grade until basically the end of high school, I didn't see my father again. And so my mom was everything for me. She was my male and female role model. She was the person who provided, the person who gave guidance, the person who took me places, whatever it was, she was always there. So when we put that on the wall, what that really means to me is if my mom is my idol and she's my, the saint, Saint Cindy, whatever, right? Get her a little medallion, but if I'm building a roof for my mom, I'm building a roof for my mom. It's going to be the best damn product that I can possibly give. And so we put that on the wall so we can remind ourselves that when people become family, they're part of the pride. They've said yes to us. We're going to treat them like their family. We're going to build their project as if it's for our own mother, because if we're going to give her the best, we're going to give them the best, and we're going to protect them just like their family. So it's that protective nature that let's make sure we do the best and the right by our clients. We want it to be absolutely ingrained in everything that we do. And so, yeah.
And I've seen that firsthand in the way that inspections are carried out, the way that your sales or your management staff actually deals with their clients. No, it is. Once you're in the family, you're in.
Yeah.
We don't screw around. We don't cut corners.
Mm-hmm.
We will tell you directly to your face how it is,
Mm-hmm.
with love.
With love.
But
yeah.
we don't put our name behind a product we don't stand by.
Yeah.
And like I said, there's just multiple reasons why I'm drawn to this
Yeah.
company. It's we really do align with
Yeah.
the moral ethics, and
Yeah.
that's what I look for first before anywhere else is
Mhm.
moral ethics, how we treat, how we take care of people.
Mhm.
And yeah, I do see a lot of those similarities.
Yeah. Well, it's I appreciate the response. It gives me comfort to understand that that's how we were received before you were part of the fold.
100%.
This is what we're trying for,
It's,
right?
yeah.
And so very cool. So your job is rewarding because you get to use your expertise and because you get to guide and assist and help your clients, which is just innately who Chris is. So that's kind of some of what I've gathered from that first.
Boiled down to a quick scent? Absolutely.
Very cool. All right, so let's go into the why behind the work section. So same thing, 3 questions. You can answer them however you want to, blended or whatever. First one. Why do you believe your work with claims and estimates is so important to the overall Pride Roofing experience? Number 2, what motivates you to go above and beyond for clients, especially during stressful insurance situations? Number 3, can you share a story where you helped a client through a challenging claim and how that reinforced your why?
Absolutely. I absolutely do. You know John Miniletti.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
I worked with him for almost a year, from one side of the field to then on the other team.
Mm-hmm.
That was it wasn't the most tedious
Mm-hmm.
or difficult. I have come across ones where a little old lady has a tree fall on her home. She doesn't have enough for the deductible. That stuff breaks my heart.
Mm-hmm.
That's where agents and people that sell policies
Mhm.
need to be clear with that.
Mhm.
But where I come in with that one is oh gosh, now I'm spacing it again, Christian.
Oh, sure.
Give me the repeat.
All 3 of them, or which one?
Just the top one.
Okay. Why do you believe your work with claims and estimates is so important to the overall Pride Roofing experience?
Why it is important to the overall experience. Now that it is brought in-house,
Mhm.
it helps the whole process speed up.
Mm-hmm.
We're not sitting in limbo for 6 months trying to communicate with insurance companies to what is even damaged, what
Mhm.
they're going to pay for, what is truly needed.
Mhm.
I've tried to come in and help speed these systems up, trying to do it in a little bit more of a timely manner, as well as coming from the insurance, it helps to shed light a little bit towards our customers that
Mhm.
don't know that insurance process, that
Mhm.
run around, how
Mhm.
long it can actually take,
Mhm.
the different, I feel like we go back and forth quite a bit just to determine what that actual scope of work will look like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're like an expediter, right?
Yep.
So, speaking from my own personal experiences, I've had to do insurance claims. I've had to do insurance claims before I knew anything about insurance claims, and I've had to do them well after I've become very seasoned with it. And what the understanding that I know is that nobody wants to file an insurance claim.
Yeah.
You don't file an insurance claim unless some form of emergent situation arises or something outside of your control breaks your things, ruins an investment, whatever
Yeah.
the case may be. So first and foremost, you're not wanted. Right? Nobody wished this upon themselves. Secondarily, nobody wants to buy a roof, right? Nobody thinks about their roof or no matter its integral value to the estate that
Mhm.
it is. Nobody thinks about it.
It's the
just
number one shield on your
it's
home.
just there, right? And so it's not like anybody's ever going out of their way saying, I want to buy a new roof. I want to spend my $20,000 to buy this roof, or I really want to spend this $5,000 on this deductible to buy this new roof. It's kind of uncomfortable to start, and it's very uncomfortable through the process because not only do you not want to be there, but there are a lot of ways to increase the timeline, make errors. You're subject to the timelines of other people. There's a lot of moving parts and a lot of different personnel touching this thing. And so if you don't have a guide like you that knows the ins and outs and that can agree upon scope with an actual construction background to, confidently explain what's going on here and plead your case and make sure that the right assembly is built for the client to like, kind, and quality the way it's supposed to be, it can be daunting. It can be a really difficult process. And I don't want any of my friends and family members to have to go through a stressful, daunting, long process without having some form of guidance there.
Absolutely.
Right. So it's like your job, what you do, is incredibly valuable to the way that to the experience of the client,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of it they don't actually understand, right? Because they didn't get to experience it from the perspective of, I chose the wrong contractor. In fact, you chose the right contractor, so you get to see it this way.
Mm-hmm.
It's still long, it's still daunting, it's still stressful, but it's much less than it could have been if you're out there fighting and fending for yourself.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Without the appropriate advocate behind you,
Mm-hmm.
the appropriate contractor, whoever in your corner to help navigate these systems,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people do get taken advantage of. They
Mhm.
will just receive ACV funds up front,
Mhm.
not hire a contractor, hire Joe Schmo on the back end, think
Mhm.
that's all the money they get, and they get a low quality product, not installed, to manufacturer code, and they maybe made a couple of bucks on the back end,
Mm-hmm.
but the consequences of this
Yeah.
are just so much more. It's gonna come through in the time,
Mhm. That's the real unfortunate part about this particular industry, is because it's not like, 99.9% of the normal population has no idea how a shingle is made.
Mm-hmm.
They have no idea how a roof course is set and how you encapsulate the perimeter of a roof. They don't know any of the things, right? 70% of the average, the general population. These are not real numbers. I'm just making this up, but it's pretty reasonable.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
About 70% or so of the population has never gone on their roof, period, because they're terrified to climb the ladder, right? So when you get these people from all over the world coming in, chasing storms in, and telling them something with confidence, and they might have blue eyes and a clean cut hair.
Mm-hmm.
My mom used to say that the devil is not red skinned with pointy, horns and a tail with 3 prongs on it. The devil is clean cut, blue eyes, and speaks really well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Amen.
So sorry, I have the blue eyes. But anyways, it's just a visual. But it's like this industry attracts trash bombs.
100%.
And not to put a negative light on insurance companies, because they serve an actual purpose there, but there's also the influence of bad people in those organizations as well. So to fight through all of those obstacles and get stuck in the midst of all of that, I would never want my mom to have to do this stuff without a coach, ever. Yeah. Right? She's had enough stress in her life. Let's de-stress things, right? And so the claims process is challenging. Restoration projects are challenging and they're stressful, but you need a guide, and you need people with subject matter expertise who actually want to protect you, not just exploit you. Right?
That is a very good way to put it.
Yeah.
That's the exploitation is how I would feel about a lot of the roofing companies, contractors that chase storms.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, they might do it for a bargain, but insurance or warranty work, how are you going to get these guys back to take care of your property? It's that kind of end. Like,
Get
if
that tail
my
light
mom
warranty.
paid you for a roof,
Yeah.
it's leaking.
Mm-hmm.
What next?
Yeah.
Well,
and I'll give. I don't. Like I said, I don't want to shed too much negative light on certain things. We have quality competitors, people who I'd let them come and hang out with my kids, and I wasn't even there type of people. I've met some good people in the industry. I've met great people on the insurance side that, like, same thing. I'd let them babysit the kids or hang out with my wife, and I'd still trust them, that kind of stuff, right? But there are the opposite of that. I've seen people being taken advantage of in certain ways, so maybe I'll bring an experience to light and see how that affects you.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a client, there was one of 3 clients with the exact same adjuster in the exact same neighborhood in 2018.
Okay.
So I was, where it was in north of Fort Collins. These 3 clients happened to have the exact same adjuster, but they all 3 had one commonality. They were incredibly old. One was a widowed man, one was a widowed woman, and one was a husband and wife, but all over the age of probably 85 to 90, right?
Good for them.
Right? Yeah, they did something right. They made good choices. But the crappy part about this was all three of them, when I first met them, said, well, we don't have any damage. And I said, okay, so how'd the process go? Did you have it checked? And they're like, no, we called the insurance company. They came out, climbed on the roof, came down and said, there's no damage. I was like, okay, well, would you like a second opinion? Because you're directly next door to this house. This house looks like this. It's Swiss cheese. One devastating storm. We're not talking about marginal hail damage. Devastating storm, like enough so that there were real holes in the matting, not just bruises that will weather to holes and stuff like that. They're real holes. And so they're like, yeah, sure, give me a second opinion. All three of them were smoked. Absolutely annihilated. But the adjuster chose to not write the claim, whether it was by integrity or by laziness or by whatever, and he knew he would get away with it because he knew they would never be able to climb a ladder and check for themselves. What do you think about that?
I think of morals. First off, once again, if that was my mother, I would want to... I don't think I'd take very kindly to that.
I'd burn the whole village.
That stuff infuriates me. And, it's just... when I was coming up in training in the insurance, it was a very common saying, you can ask 10 adjusters, and you're going to get 10 different opinions. This situation is not about scoping. That is just about moral ethics and laziness. Straight out the bat. And just like you'd said, it's a statistic thing. It's a people thing. There are good people. Unfortunately, there are bad people.
It's just like there's good teachers and bad teachers, good cops, bad cops, good principals, bad principals. It doesn't matter, right? There's a pendulum of everybody.
Corporate America, major insurance companies, can't discriminate against people. They have to interview and accept and do whatever they can, and then unfortunately they kind of have to find out the hard way who's got a good backbone or not, who's built for this. I think everybody that does insurance should swing a hammer for a year. Same with everybody that's doing roofing should really understand what they're getting into, both sides of this coin. It really does provide clarity to that. So I mean, you're just you're nailing it.
Just wanted to see if I could catch a change of skin tone when I tell you something I know would boil your blood.
It does.
I think we've effectively understood some whys and some what really makes you already in the interview. So this is, like I said, I have met incredible people on all sides of this: homeowners, contractors, insurance companies, whatever you. But there are bad ones, and you need to be protected from them.
CYA.
Yeah.
You got to cover your own backside every single day. It's unfortunate that you have to think about yourself always, and it's made it very hard growing up with a twin, being told to think about this guy. You think of yourself last. Family man. I guarantee you're not the first person at the end of the day you're thinking about.
No.
So,
no.
You grow up and you move into different roles, and you are the alpha. You're here to care and to watch out for, to make sure that it is honorable, that we are out here doing our best, and it shows.
I learned from an early age. I guess it wasn't super early. It was high school age. I wasn't a complete piece of garbage. I don't want to make it sound like that, but I had a teacher who really said something that will always resonate with me. I turned in a pretty half-assed paper. I blamed it on the fact that I was doing 2-a-days and I was, dehydrated because it was wrestling season and blah 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 blah. But I turned in a half-assed paper, and I mentioned this on one of the other ones, but I think this will resonate with you. He said, "Christian, is this the best you can do?" And he knew it wasn't, because he had seen when I gave my effort. So it was rhetorical. He says, "Is this the best you can do?" And I go, "Mr. Trotter, you know it's not the best I can do." He says, "Then why did you put it on my desk?" And I was like, started giving him excuses. And he said, "Excuses don't matter in this world. What matters is the name on top of that sheet. Your name carries weight. If you turn in half-assed papers to me, my assumption of you and everything that you do from this point forward is that you're a half-assed human." Right? And in my experience with this job, with any career, with anything else, that thing that resonates with me every single time I think about something. If I'm going to train somebody, I'm going to train them give them the absolute best that I possibly can, because if I don't, I've left an opportunity not only to not influence them, not to give them positivity, but I've given them the opportunity to think that I'm half-assed. I'm not a half-assed person. I'm not morally corrupt. I'm not this, right?
No.
So every single time, I'm the same person everywhere that I go, every time that I do something, and it's important to me, and that resonates inside of here. And I wanted to put that in right here because it's very clear you align with that part of what we do here.
Oh,
so.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's awesome. So let's go into a different section, fun and personality. So question number 1. What's one misconception people have about insurance claims and estimating that you wish more people understood? Number 2, when things get hectic, how do you keep a positive attitude and stay focused? And number 3, if you could give new team members one piece of advice about owning their why, what would it be?
Okay. So, for owning their whys, that's going to be a really big one. I mean, you boiled it down with me within 5 seconds. It's getting to the heart of somebody to figure out what really makes them tick. I think that's a really big one. If they can figure out what they stand for, what makes them happy, what makes them mad, what is a good job, what is not. If they can boil that down to that exact why, that's where they'll be able to keep and hold on to that, harbor that moving forward. For me, it's to I like to be a servant, so to speak. I want to help. I want to see people do good. So that is my why, and I've been able to identify that prior to us getting into it. So if people can figure out that end, it will help them succeed. It'll help them sell them. You're not even selling yourself at that rate. If you are coming up with that kind of integrity, people will just want to work with you.
Sure. Well, I'll do a spin-off question for this one. Think of your version of success. In not like how you got there, what you're doing, but what it's like in living in the world where you feel like you've been fully successful. What's that like?
Success is happiness.
Happiness.
It's allotted the time to be happy, to do the activity with friends and family, to, that's what I see it as.
Yeah. I agree. I've never really focused. I don't know what your religious affiliations are. I guess I haven't asked you those types of questions.
All over, man. There might be something, but...
I went on this missions trip once when I was a kid, and we went out to Lame Deer, South Dakota. Lame Deer, South Dakota. So it was on an Indian reservation. We went out. Our church was partnered with a church that they were building out there, and they were doing kind of a youth program for the summer. And we went out there to run some of the youth program, help build some of the buildings and stuff like that. But long story short, we were putting on a service in the evening, and there was a lady. She was a drifter. Nobody knew who the heck she was. And she just walked right on into this service, and she's in the back. And so we're hosting like praise and worship, and we had done like this little skit and play thing and whatever. And she kind of just listened to the whole thing. And then at the end, we did a altar call and asked if anybody needed prayer and stuff like that. And she walked up to me like she had a mission. And I was like, okay. I've been practicing. Let's see if I can do good, And she goes, I don't want you to pray for me. I want to pray for you. And I was like, okay. Whew, And she goes, everybody can have their own, views of this, but this is where I get a lot of conviction and where my focuses are, I guess, through my faith and through my experiences. But she told me that God told me to tell you, you'll never need to worry about money. And growing up, that was one of the main reasons I wanted to be incredibly independent, is because I watched what happened with my family and how all the fighting was generally around a financial problem. Right? 4 kids, rising prices, whatever, right? Put it all in a nutshell, it's probably 90% of people's problems in the world, right? The rest are self-induced. It's financial or self-induced.
Yep, that's the breakdown.
And But anyway, she said, that went on for a little bit, but it just resonated with me, and I kind of changed my mentality from that point forward. I was like, okay, I'm not working for the dollar. I want to work for happiness. I want to work for comfort, right? And not like I want to be complacent. I want to get to a point where I've created a world around me where the people I love can be comfortable and not be stressed out constantly by the things that are going on that I didn't protect them from. Right?
If your mother's car doesn't start and she needs a new battery, should she be in a spot that she has to worry about that?
Yeah.
Or that's the kind of thing that you're right. These are, they're not necessarily petty. They happen to everybody, but these everyday scenarios shouldn't be devastating for somebody's life.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But it's not to say that, putting focus on growth and monetarily is a bad thing. No. It's everybody wants to make money. Everybody would be an absolute liar if their boss or somebody walked up to them and said, "Here's $10,000," right? And they're like, 100%. "I don't want it. I don't like money." You're like, "You're full of crap. You take that and you have what you're going to do with it too."
The money isn't the happiness; it's what it allots.
And that's what I've always wanted to make sure that I express and grow into as many people as I can, and just make sure that my why and all of this stuff and the growth and the trajectory of Pride Roofing and Construction is not for the monetary gain. That's going to be a byproduct of the successes that we derive. But I focus on money as fuel for the machines that I'm using to create that contained space that me and my people I love can experience life with comfort and with happiness and with love.
It's what you would want for anybody, right? It's just absolutely.
Yeah. So the piece of advice about owning your why based off your perspective is, first off, do analysis and find out what that why is. Find out what you're grounded on, what makes you wake up in the morning, and then
hone in on that.
Stay there, lock in on it. Let's stay focused on it so we can actually. That's a lot of people's problems a lot of the time.
Nurture it. Build upon that. Don't get into a work environment or friends that discourage you from doing what you know is where you need to be.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Then towards the front half of that question, something about insurance most people would not be aware of.
What's one misconception or some misconceptions?
Misconceptions are that your premiums are going to rise when you file a claim. This is not auto. This is property. These are acts of God, basically. They are not caused by an individual. You did not intentionally cause damage to your home. If you did, it's fraud. And that's why premiums.
Hey, guy, put the ball peen hammer down.
So, because you file a claim isn't a bad thing. If you have questionable damage, your insurance is there to provide peace of mind. Something I enjoyed when I was on the insurance side, and it's not looked at as a good thing, but as a homeowner, no damage is fantastic.
It's good news.
It's great news.
I
had my roof done a couple years ago. I had 3 flat tires from that. Once again, don't hire the average Joe. Do some research. I am now educated and know the insurance and know the roofing world, and I'll let you know I made some mistakes, and I would go back if I could, but we can't. We only can move forward and own our mistakes.
I like that you bring that one up, because when I tell that to clients coming from a contractor, their filtered vision says he's just saying that to get me to file the claim. But an adjuster, somebody who's been on the other side of things, that's just the law. That's the way that it's written, right? Premiums don't increase because you made a claim. However, premiums will increase because the event happened, if it's a widespread event, right? And so what's unfortunate for people who think from that wrong perspective is that their premiums are going to go up and their asset value went down simultaneously.
It works just like that.
If you really like losing money, then I guess just leave it there to rot.
Let it keep getting bad, because they won't cover it. No, premiums are based upon how much. So premiums are based upon each state. The state pays out X amount for an event. The state needs to bring in X amount to cover those expenses. Fraudulent claims, biggest waste of money. So that's where I was like, I can't believe you guys liked me, because I have not bought in roofs and I've bought in roofs, but it is that honest, clear communication that has had both parties.
Sure. Well, I take it differently than probably a different roofer would.
100%.
Because there's been times where I've been in an interaction where I was confident that this is what happened here, but I was introduced to more education in that opportunity. So I'm going to take that experience and I'm going to actually apply that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So getting a denial, although it's irritating and it's I guess not, irritating is maybe not the right word. Disappointing maybe, because you think that you're making it somewhere with this new opportunity. Because after all, we're a business. We've got to sell things and build things in order to pay our bills and all that good stuff. But I always have looked at it like, oh, okay, I have new ammunition for my tool belt. I am more of a subject matter expert. So let me take that information, bring it back to the guys, and make sure they don't make the same mistake. Yeah.
Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power.
If we're not growing from our mistakes, then what are we doing?
Dying, yeah.
Yep, 100%.
or living in the cycles of life where we go nowhere, the rat race. So, all right, last section, vision and impact. Unless there was more you wanted to add.
No, that's good.
Bringing in good stuff here, Chris. I appreciate it. Vision and impact. Question number 1. Excuse me, I've got like the burp hiccups things. These guys, Lachlan knows better than anybody else that if I don't eat before this, I'm completely worthless while I'm on camera. So I went and crammed Chipotle, so I'm burping up some chicken and rice right now. It's not tasting amazing. So it was the fastest trip ever. I was there and back in less than 25 minutes and ate it while there too. So
the only time you'll see me mad or angry is when I get hangry.
Yeah.
If my glucose gets low, I Captain don't give a fuck.
Yeah. My wife, it's funny because she does bodybuilding competitions, bikini competitions, whatever, and she's been on this kick of measuring your food and being incredibly disciplined with nutrition. And, I'll make a comment like, I'm getting a little bit flabby or whatever. And she's like, well, if you're just more disciplined with your food. I'm like, I just don't want to ever be that disciplined
with my food.
It's like, I missed a lot of meals growing up as a wrestler. I don't want to do this anymore. Because, I was just a complete a-hole. It changes who you are because your whole biochemistry in your brain's just completely off when you're lacking. So, anyways, when I'm looking over here, I'm burping. It tastes like Chipotle and not as good as the first time.
Hey, man, at least you had a hot lunch.
Yeah. I gotta be thankful for that. So, no, back to the topic. You can cut all that if you want to, Lachlan, because that was just me tangenting again. Rabbit hole. Vision and impact. So, question number 1: how does your role contribute to building trust and long-term relationships with our clients? Number 2: what personal values or beliefs guide your decisions when handling claims and estimates? Which we've dove into that a little bit. And then number 3, looking ahead, what do you hope your legacy or impact will be here at Pride Roofing?
Okay, so the first part was how I help out the homeowner, correct? Or
So how does your role contribute to building trust and long-term relationships with the clients? So, yes.
From a really good point, just a couple of our past clients, and nothing to be NPC or about age or anything, but at a certain point, the insurance gets overwhelming. You don't understand the legal end of it. It's something out of your wheelhouse. You could get better at it with discipline, but at a certain age, I look at it as you're distinguished enough.
There were better
you let
things to
other
think
people
about,
handle
probably.
certain things.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So coming up with that one, gosh, I just lost it, Christian.
That's okay. Well, you were talking about working with elderly clients, and
the
we're talking about
rapport,
your
how I build that rapport with our clients. On the back end, I'm doing the insurance communications. Anytime I'm reaching out on the behalf of our customers, you will always know what I'm asking for, why I'm asking for it. I never do anything behind somebody's back. And I found out that a lot of our customers will start calling me directly with questions instead of their account managers and stuff. Just because they see me working in the background, they'll reach out. We have a little talk about it, and that's really resonated with a couple of our customers to just know that there is a person on the back end. They called that number. Hey, how you doing this morning, Peggy? What's going on? Oh, Chris, you're a real guy back there? Well, yeah. Haven't you seen me talking about this stuff with you?
You thought I was a robot?
Yeah.
It was like AI over here. AI Chris.
Just that kind of thing where it's like, no, there's really a person back here. I'm going through your stuff. And so you said, we try to care about each and every single one of these projects as if it's my mother, if it's my dad, my brother, my cousin. And I just like to do a solid, well-rounded job to help bring in that clarity, to help make sure they're not itemizing, so to speak. But and I think that our customers really do see that in the communications that I bring, and that clarity that I have to offer for them.
Are you good at taking complex information and boiling it down to, I guess, a summary that for the layperson?
Understandable terms.
Yeah. So for the audience that didn't understand why I said it that way, there are a lot of people who can be good students. There are not a lot of people who can be good teachers. Until you can teach a complex subject to a very simple mind, you have not mastered that thing. Therefore, you probably should not be a teacher of that thing.
Absolutely.
So we just learned that Mr. Chris over here, one of his biggest contributing roles to the relationships he'll build with you, if you're not already a client, and when you are, assumptive, right? That he'll be able to capture all the good information using his expertise and give it to you in a way that you can understand, so that you don't have to think too far, grab too many books, or start to learn this stuff for yourself.
That we're pretty much always, Monday through Friday, you give me a call, I'll answer. If I know the answer, glad to share. If I don't, I will also share that, and I will go find that answer. Because that's, we're all trying to grow and to better ourselves. That's the one thing I love about Pride, is everybody's humble enough to know that there is always more.
Well, have you ever read the book 13 Fatal Errors?
No, I have not.
There's the book is actually a book. I usually give it out to somebody. I've given it out probably like 50 times in my lifetime, but I'll give it out to people that I want to become a manager. It's essentially the 13 different things that if you don't do these, you'll probably be a pretty darn good manager.
Okay.
And the very first section, first on purpose, the first fatal error is self-accountability. And they talk about the importance of the phrase, I don't know, right? A lot of times when people get into leadership roles, or they get into whatever,
it's okay
position
not to
of
know
influence,
something.
well, they feel as though they're supposed to know everything. And that's
the
why they were
downfall.
put there, right? So they have this, let me protect myself by making up some BS answer, or trying to skirt around it, or do some song and dance and wiggle around this particular thing, when ultimately people want to follow genuine and authentic people, right? They don't want to follow fake, inorganic, totalitarians, all of those different things put together. They don't want to follow things that are fake, right? So you're going to get a lot more respect out of a subordinate or a player or whatever it is if you tell them, I don't know, and you follow up that phrase with, but let me go find out so that you and I will know for the future, right?
100%.
Right. So it's that's just a trait of a talented somebody with leadership quality, is your ability to be authentic enough to say, I don't know, but let's go find out.
That's fantastic.
Right. So what you said,
yeah, that's what
I wanted to put that piece
Thanks.
in there. So that's pretty good stuff. Are there any other pieces that you'd like, or things that you'd like the team to know about you, the community that watches these to know about you, or we feel like we made it pretty far with this conversation?
The things that I just really like to highlight are the things that, it's why I'm here with Pride. It's the integrity. It's the, you guys are always outright just top tier in my eyes. Not just because I work with you guys. We. Thank you.
We, us,
Thank
our.
you, Christian. Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Sure.
It's no, it's enlightening. It's humbling. It's refreshing to be a part of an organization that wants to see every person in that organization grow, to be successful, to do well. I have not come across anybody here that if they've had a question, they've been turned down or put down in a negative way, or everybody here is always willing to help. They're always trying to encourage, to build the best team, to build the best product that we can. And that's what I stand for, just like bringing it back towards the front end. And not to be in PC about it, but you're only as good as your word. Not just a man, but anybody is only as good as their word. That's what you're born with in this world, and that's what you're going to die with, is your name at the end of it. What does that name mean? For me, I want that to mean something. I want people to know they can count on me, that they can rely on me, that my word is honest, true, and that I'm working hard in the background for you. And I feel that I really aligned with Pride because every single person that works with us carries that same moral, I feel like. We all want to help, we all want to be there, we all want to do the right thing. So we all look forward to those new customers, however we can help guide you, old, returning customers. Reach out, ask us anything. That's what we're here for. We're that knowledge to share.
Yeah. Well, and challenge to old customers, thank you for the first time. But if you ever need anything again, I'd love for you to see how much we've evolved and put some actual validity behind what he just said of how we are always focused on doing right by you and getting better day by day by day by day. That'd be cool. So, well, it's been a pleasure talking to you, and I'm really thankful that you're on the team. That was a really good synopsis. I didn't really need to boil it all down because you just did. He's here because he wants to be honest and he wants to be a force for good inside of his personal life, inside of the business. Let's give him that opportunity. If you ever need anything, reach out. And any last things to say?
Thank you for having me on the team.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate it.
You are family, my friend. So that's it for today's episode of Into the Lion's Den. Please like and subscribe, engage in the content, ask us some questions. If you'd like to be on, shoot us a DM, and we will schedule a time for you to be on under these lights in this semi-hot room. Let's learn more about our community. Let's learn more about you. Like I said, if you have any questions or would like us to dive deeper or have Chris on, just give us some shouts, give us some likes, give us subscribes. We do see all of the stuff in the background, so even if you don't write anything, the more engagement there is, the more we know we're on the right path. So we'd love that if you could do that. So that's it for today. We appreciate your time. Catch you on the flip side.
Good. Good job, Griff.
Yeehaw.
Thank you all for tuning in to this episode of Into the Lion's Den. We appreciate your time, and we hope that you've gathered enough ammunition to go out, fight the good fight, and become a better person every single day. Please like and subscribe, engage in our content, ask us some questions. We'd love to tailor fit the next episode to you.